Well, the one I'm really interested in is Maddison. I mean, Tielemans and Barnes can play as well, but Maddison for me would be the signing out of Leicester City. And I haven't got any doubts about attitude whatsoever. If he came to Newcastle United with what's going on in the Newcastle United dressing room and what's going on the pitch and what's going on next season with Champions League, I think he would be magical. And you can point every time a good side goes down, they point at the great players, don't they? Oh, Ward Prowse, has he done enough to keep Southampton up? Has Maddison done enough to keep Leicester up? Blah, de, blah, de, blah, de, blah. The whole point is if you're a quality player and you're pulling your guts out and you're rolling balls in and you're seeing people not make the runs they ought to make, you're living Monday to Friday in a dressing room where the atmosphere stinks and where you know five or six people in there don't give a damn about what is happening to the club, and it doesn't affect you when you're going to run your guts out on the Saturday and make runs that you know the ball isn't going to come, etc., etc. I'm not excusing Maddison, but what I'm talking about is you can't get downhearted because you know that you're trying to climb Everest with sandshoes on, and that can't be done. I have no. There are quality players who are bad eggs. I'm not talking about Leicester in particular, but throughout football. And there are people that you don't want to touch because they're just good players when the going's right. And when the going's wrong, they're not good players at all. But I don't think Madison's one of them, is an example. Not at all. But it's a team game. It's not a one-man game. If he comes up here and pulls his plonk out to play well here, and so does Barnes or somebody else, and the other seven don't, Leicester lose regardless of whether Madison's in the side or not. But no, I have no doubts on that particular score.
So you'd like to see him in black and white come
I
next season
certainly
then?
would. I would love to see him up here. I think he is the sort of quality that we need to go to the next step.
Well, if reports are correct, John, he fancies Tottenham over Newcastle.
That shows what a bad judge he might be. That might be the only question mark against him. I mean, I can understand how a year ago or whenever you might fancy that because Tottenham habitual Champions Leaguers, can they win titles, etc. Hey, look at their policy. Levy, what's he done for the club? What quality players have they bought? I mean, they already had Harry Kane. They've had Song for ages. With them two, they ought to be winning trophies. When did they last win a trophy? It's ages ago. They've got to second in the league. They've got to a Champions League final when Poch was here. But yes, right now, if I was in neutral right now, I would want to go to Newcastle and climb on the bandwagon before it takes off completely, than go to Spurs and be part of a rebuilding process.
Yeah, it's a bit of a relevant question because the Champions League qualification is going to happen. But is the Champions League the deciding factor in that? Or if you're James Maddison, and let's just say the worst does happen and Newcastle don't qualify from this spot, which is ridiculous because they're going to, but let's say they don't, would you still come here as James Maddison? Because of
If the alternative Spurs, they're not going to make it either into the Champions League. In fact, we are going to make it in the Champions League, and they're not. But at the stage of his career that Madison's off, after being at Leicester for so long and inspiring them to do so much, etc., etc., his next move, he's not starting his career, he's well into his career. His next move, if you're going to leave, you've got to leave for somebody that's going to win things. If Harry Kane leaves Spurs, it's no good going to another Spurs. You've got to go to somebody that's actually going to win things. And so is Maddison. So Maddison will look at it and say, I've got to go somewhere that is flying. And if you have half an hour to spare to go into the history of the current Newcastle United on your laptop, Mr. Maddison, you'll come here because this reminds me so much of Kevin Keegan, the Entertainers. You jumped on that bandwagon as quickly as you could, the Entertainers, because they were taking off. Ironically, they ended up didn't win, never won something, which is incredible. But the off looked as if they were. I mean, even Shearer jumped on the bandwagon at the end. So did Ferdinand. So did Andy Cole. So did a million quality players. That was a club taking off. This is a club taking off. You want to be part of that sort of experience because it doesn't come often in life. Spurs cannot guarantee you that experience. They're not taking off. They're taking off for the tube station.
So it sounds like, John, you're suggesting Newcastle are going to win something in the not too distant future.
We'll probably win something before Spurs. And
I hope
Newcastle
so.
are going to win something in the not too distant future. There's absolutely no question about that. It's whether it's next season or the season after.